Now, right now, I've got one of the illest MCs to ever do it. This guy, he's changed the game several times. He's broke records. He's just omnipotent. The man that is 50 Cent. What's going on, man?
Everything's good, man. I'm out moving around. I'm working on a new show for Animal Ambition for this project because I want to take advantage of the summer and get out and do a lot of the actual shows in the U.S. But I'm going to be spot dating, so you should look forward to seeing me out there.
Okay. Now, I'm sure you got a lot of fans who are going to be snapping up those tickets straight away, that they're going to be like instantly sold out shows. I mean, let's rewind it back to 2002. It's like when you was coming through, for people who don't know, it was almost like the inauguration of Barack Obama. Like, everybody wanted you in power. Everybody wanted to see you win. And yo, you've done so much, like 4 solo albums, 2 group albums, copious amounts of films. You did a lot in 10 years, right?
Yeah, man. I think at that point when I was coming, it was a breath of fresh air because they had like, if you look at the things that happened prior to, like there was like Ja was in a good space doing a lot of relationship records with like Mary J. Blige and Mariah Carey and Jennifer Lopez and different things, and then like the culture kind of lost its edge.
Right.
To it, and I was coming with that energy it really matches the environment that I was actually coming out of, and the circumstances, the things that was going on with me just intensified the whole show. Like everybody really was into it. So now it's interesting because I got to find a place to start the new records from. You know what I mean? Like right. what perspective to write these things from. And I chose Prosperity on Animal Ambition because everybody that I have value for, you know, has interest in living life, you know, on a good level. So I wrote there was enough things conceptually involved in it that I came up with that I felt like it was the right concept for the album because, you know, you got a lot of negative things connected to Prosperity also, like the sense of entitlement that grows within people around you without you even knowing it is happening, jealousy, people being envious of the situation when they really don't know exactly what your situation is. Their imagination says what it is. Like, you know, because when I grew up in low income situations, so it feels like money's the answer to all your problems. And it's not that you acquire it, that you realize there's always a new frustration or a new obstacle.
Right. What would you say has been your biggest obstacle over the last 5 years?
Well, just finding the actual right people. I have trust issues. So finding the right people to invest my time and energy into is probably been the biggest obstacle. You know what I mean? And a lot of, like, I don't think the way that people are actually happy that choose who they're around based on who's a good look. You know, like who's good for business versus who they would actually enjoy being around. And because I don't want to make those mistakes, I made some sacrifices. Like I had people that I shouldn't have had around me at different points.
Right.
And it just slows progress. It doesn't prevent you from being in the position that I'm in, but I just feel like that portion of my journey would have been better if I was a better judge of character.
Right. I mean, with this situation, is this relating to the G-Unit side of things, or is it more behind the scenes kind of things?
Yeah, but just behind the scenes in general, because like with G-Unit, there's always an explanation for their actions because they're like, you know how you have a younger brother, he does something that makes no sense, but it makes sense because he's your younger brother? Yeah. Like that's what I always look at them and go, what are you doing? And then it just, okay, whatever. Because of who they are, like in relation to like the way the relationship was developed, they do things that don't make sense that it's fine. They did it because it's just, when you say sorry so often that sorry doesn't mean sorry. Yeah. It just means, come on, let's just stop arguing.
Yeah, I hear that.
It's those relationships that when you've been around people for a long time, like they were around prior to music, you know. So it's like I think everybody would want to hold on to those things that have value. You have value for prior to things working,
right?
Because it's like wanting to hold on to the ability to still know who you are, or to still have to have your feet on the ground.
New album. 2002, 2003, you were going to come through no matter what. No matter what anybody said, no matter what anybody tried to do, you were inescapable. You were going to do it. You had that determination. You had that hunger. You've had a lot of success. You've achieved a lot. The game's a very different place. What inspires you right now? What keeps you going musically right now?
Well, you know, like, at that point, it was just, I'd be having tunnel vision at that point. Like, I set my mind on a goal and I just work until I actually achieve it. And I don't think I can achieve the same numbers. I don't think it's even possible to do what I did on Get Rich or Die Trying or on The Massacre. But I believe I can make it back to having that kind of energy surround my material. And as an artist, that's what I'm attracted to. I have the things that I want now. I'm fine if I just stayed at the pace that I'm at right now. And I just like, for me personally, I don't really know what the goal is if I'm not trying to make myself better. That's why, you know, prosperity and you know, moving forward with success is the thing.
Right. You're in a new situation now. You're independent. You've got a new album coming. How's it feel? It's a new day, right?
It feels great. Like, look, you know, like, to try to call the shots, because, like, I would have to, in process, I'd have to go to a staff meeting and listen to everyone else's concept or idea of what I'm supposed to do next. You know what I mean? Because you got a major company, they feel like they got experts in different areas, just listening and watching, and they want to hear what you got to say, but they want to also give you the right influences when you need them. You know, and doing to me was kind of influencing me to go in areas that I could have got there, but it would have felt a lot more organic doing it my way. You know, and the way I actually achieved, you know, the level of interest that made them commit to me as an artist to begin with is the formula for success. It's like I like to offer consistency to assure the actual audience that what they're gonna get from me is gonna be up to standard. You know, like, and they're saying like now things are adjusted, so it's taking 20 weeks to get a record into the top 5. That means you're only making 2 songs off your album. If you Get Rich or Die Trying would last for 4 years now.
Yeah. Wow.
In the climate that we're in, it would take 4 years before I can make another record. Wow. Because of how many records were a success and played, you know, on the platform. You would be cutting the legs off of the project. In order for people to remember it the way it actually is, it has to have enough time for each one of the songs to have their moment.
Okay. Even though the fans have got more access to music and everything else, it takes longer for people to absorb stuff and for stuff to sink in, right? Right,
because it's not like the charts. As far as radio is concerned, the fans will decide if they like the song the night that the song comes out. Like, the day that the song comes out, they decide whether they like it or not right there. But it takes time before the record could actually create confirmation by actually being a success.
Okay. I mean, again, it's like, it feels like you're going to do something big, you're going into a new area, you're doing things differently. Now, Tech 9 is probably the most successful independent hip-hop artist, and every independent artist right now, the first thing they say is, yo, I want to Macklemore the game. So what's your view on what Macklemore achieved last year with his debut album as an independent artist? Now you're in the same lane as him.
I think all of us will be classified a little different because of what point you've actually made it to in your career starting. Like, I think it'd be unfair for you to put me in direct comparisons with like Macklemore, because what he just did is obviously a huge accomplishment and it's organic, but you can only compare me to that if I never interacted with Interscope and just sold my records direct. You know what I'm saying? Because right. when you, like, my first record is the largest debut in hip-hop album. So, like, I'm like, when we actually gauge what would be a success on this project, we gotta say, how do people feel about it? Like, how do people enjoy the record? Is it good or is it bad? Because it's impossible to achieve the things that I've achieved already. So being independent it says, look, when I released the song, the Smoke record featuring Trey Songz is produced by Dr. Dre and is the #1 most added record to radio the week that we went after. You know what I'm saying? So with Macklemore, to have a song that commercially is performing like that, it would be a dream for that to happen. You see what I'm saying? From his perspective, and even though his audience is a true audience, and he's actually going out and performing, and they're obviously going out to support him and buying his actual records. But for him I never met an artist that didn't want, you know, the world to embrace their art.
Right.
You know, like the more people, the larger the reach the project has. I guess that's where you create, you know, how effective it is.
When it comes to beef, like you've won many wars, many battles. I mean, the situation now looking back, like you know, last year was the anniversary of Get Rich or Die Trying, 10-year anniversary. What happened with Ja Rule? I mean, do you feel bad about that? Is there any kind of regrets about what went down? Or
I don't regret anything because circumstances surrounding it kind of caused that. Like I don't try to get into situations if I don't have to be.
Right.
And that was one of those situations that is different. It wasn't like every other competition that I've been in with other artists. Like sometimes you get the guy that actually wants to create an opportunity for them to move up faster in notoriety and trying to compete with a more established artist or a bigger artist at that point. And I would do it because when I fell in love with hip hop culture, it was competitive. Like I watched KRS-One do the Bridges Over with MC Shan and different, you know, artists that I actually, you know, watched and admired growing up. See, some of us had such a business savvy so early that they wouldn't engage in those competitions because they didn't want to move the other artists in. Like, and I feel like if the culture doesn't have any competition, it won't grow as fast as it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Providing that additional energy underlying everything that you're actually doing that makes you go harder with what you're actually doing. Like if every company has a competitor. Right. Any company that just has one, like, is the only person in that category, I don't think that you have the ability to not become complacent if there's no one around you that you utilize for competition. Even if you guys can be far apart in what you're actually doing, but you need someone to compare yourself to give you an additional oomph or effort for you to, you know, go ahead and be the best you can actually be at each point.
Right. Well, look, I mean, hip-hop's in a great place right now. It's good to see you coming back, coming strong. We're definitely going to support the new album and blaze all of the joints, all of the singles. You know, 10-year anniversary, Get Rich or Die Trying. It's just brilliant to see you still doing it and you're still hungry and you're still getting it in. Now, it's Good Friday today. Normally on Good Friday, we go in with the Kanye West music because it's all about, you know, Good Friday, good music and everything. What's your favorite Kanye West joint?
Flashing Lights, man.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, that was the one. Like that. There's certain records like regardless of who the artist is or when they come on, they create it's a feeling connected to it. So that record and I like that I ain't saying she's a gold digger. That one, you know what I'm saying? At that point.
All right. Well, look, 50, man, wish you the best of luck with the new project. We're going to blaze these joints right now. Thanks for taking the time out. And when you're in the UK, it'd be great if we could hook up. If I'll come to the show or pass by the station or whatnot. But either way, we're going to be blazing the music regardless. Thanks a lot, 50.
All right, peace.